Uh-oh.
Yeah.
With summer rapidly coming to a close, it's time for all those integrated sound jobs to start pouring in again. And as sure as the kids have to go back to school, you can be certain that there'll be plenty of opportunities to install sound in small and mid-sized venues this fall. A lot of these projects are owner-driven business, and that's without a firm specification or even a predetermined bill of materials. In these kind of projects, it's extremely important to propose an efficient and cost-effective system that provides a high value to the budget-conscious buyer. One of the best ways to accomplish this, of course, is to specify components that are easy to install and commission so that you can reduce labor costs and increase profit margins. But another way to add value to your proposal is to specify products from a manufacturer with a time-proven reputation for providing quality sound products with a lower cost of delivery and a track record of exceptional longevity and durability and top-notch service and product support. So whether you have opportunities coming in from restaurants, bars, retail establishments, or fitness centers, it's time to think about how we can provide profitable solutions for our customers with solid ROI for the owners.
Well, today we'll show you a new offering from a well-established manufacturer that'll help you streamline your system design and installation for just these kinds of projects. And while we've titled this as Choosing the Right Amp for the Right Speaker, maybe we should have called it Choosing the Right Amps and Speakers for More Profitable Projects. Because what we're really trying to get across to you here today is that there are some new ways to skin this old cat. And that'll help you on labor costs and at the same time provide a better and more efficient system for your customer.
We promise to harm no cats in today's webinar. But we would like to welcome a very special guest that's joining us here today from Bosch, Eileen Vergeer. She has a master's degree in industrial design and industrial engineering. Eileen has been working for Bosch in Europe with a wide experience in the safety and security industry. And last year, she was invited to move to the United States to focus more on the audio portfolio from Bosch and its sister brands Electro-Voice and Dynacord. Now, as a marketing manager for commercial and pro audio, Eileen is responsible for bringing Dynacord electronics to the American market and simultaneously launching what might be the largest number of new products Bosch has introduced in years. Welcome, Eileen.
Thank you for this introduction, Neil. I'm really happy to be here today and talk to you about our new solutions.
Well, Eileen, can you tell us a little bit about your new Loud and Clear launch and what that means to all of us here today?
Yeah, definitely. So with our Loud and Clear events that move throughout the country, we are bringing some exciting news to the audio market this year. Not only are we bringing a lot of new speaker products into our Electro-Voice portfolio, but we are also introducing Dynacord to America as our professional electronics brand. Our Electro-Voice engineers are working out of the US, where the brand is already celebrating its 90th anniversary. And with our Dynacord engineers working out of Germany already since 70 years, we have a very strong combined engineering expertise. So by introducing Dynacord as our professional electronics brand, we'll now make this German engineering available globally.
So I've been in this industry a long, long time. I've worked with multiple manufacturers, and to be honest, I could have my pick of any manufacturer for my own personal PA system. But I'm the proud owner of a Dynacord PA rig, and I can tell you that I've never seen anything come close to the amplifier power and efficiency offered in my active system. So Eileen, I am very excited to hear what you have to share with us today, and I will now be quiet so you can introduce us to even more really cool and innovative products.
Good to see that you actually own one.
That's
so
right.
Yes, with the combined engineering expertise of both brands, customers can expect new best-in-class software, a complete new range of electronics, and an enhanced loudspeaker portfolio.
Eileen, at Infocom, we saw and heard the new Dynacord amplifiers. So can you go over the new technology with us?
Yes, of course. So we will start by launching two new amplifier lines, the L series for live applications such as live bands and DJ systems, and the C series for more install-focused applications such as restaurants, houses of worship, and theaters. With a very extensive feature set, Dynacord distinguishes itself in these mid-size applications by bringing real professional performance to a new and more accessible price point.
So, Eileen, there's a bunch of amps already out there. What can you tell us that will make choosing the right amp easier?
Yeah, you're right. So a lot of amplifiers are offered in the mid-market, and it's a pretty competitive field. So for somebody who's aiming to select appropriate electronics, this vast amount of choices can be pretty overwhelming, and comparing spec sheets can be pretty confusing. So today, I'd therefore like to highlight some key points that can help you select the right amplifiers for your application. Some key points to consider when you are selecting the right amplifier is what DSP options does the amplifier offer? How user-friendly is the user interface? What is the power output and system stability? And what are the possible applications for this amplifier? Last but not least, of course, what price point are we looking at if we would consider this amplifier? So starting out with the DSP. DSP integration into the amplifier is a new trend that is being introduced into this mid-market. This is very useful because you now no longer need to buy a separate DSP to tune the loudspeakers correctly. However, not all DSPs are equal. So up to now, DSP functionality on mid-price point amplifiers has been quite basic. Many amplifiers claim to offer DSP, but only have a basic parametric EQ and a rudimentary crossover. This is leaving your loudspeaker system unprotected and sounding less than ideal. Dynacord now brings a professional DSP into this mid-market price point, which actually contains a 6-band parametric EQ, a full 31-band graphic EQ, the option for delays, professional crossovers, and an FIR drive technology to ensure that your speaker's installation is always protected and sounding at its very best.
Eileen, you got FIR at this price point?
Yes. Normally, yeah, the DSP features like this are normally reserved for the highest quality tool grade applications. But we have now brought them into this mid-price installation market for the very first time.
So can you explain FIR drive to those of us who might not be familiar with it?
Sure. So FIR drive, first of all, the FIR processing optimizes the sound of the system. This is achieved by linearizing the transducer response. And this linear response curve then allows us to add in brick wall crossovers between the low and the high frequency transducers. So this is making sure that there is a flawless transition across the frequencies. After adding the crossover, the system response is further optimized because a completely linear response is not necessarily and subjectively the optimal sound. As soon as the the system response is optimized, then that will be used for the system sound. Secondly, the FIR drive contains a peak anticipation limiter or a look ahead limiter that prevents overexcursion of the transducer and hard clipping of the amplifier. And last but not least, there's a temp limiter included into the FIR drive that protects the transducer from exceeding thermal limits. So fully protected system with the FIR drive. But with all these functionalities included in the DSP, something that shouldn't be underestimated is the value of a good user interface that will help you save time and ensure quick and accurate setup and control of the system. Many amplifiers in this market don't have configuration software, and you are left with the front panel to configure each individual channel one by one, which is very time frustrating and time consuming, as you can imagine. With so much DSP power and functionality now in the Dynacord amps, we were facing a challenge because we need to be able to control all these DSP features in an easy way, but still maintain the integrity of the high-end features. So that is why we designed a new multi-amplifier remote control software, or MARC, that makes setting up advanced features extremely quick and easy. It comes with an offline configuration and editing mode, so you can actually prepare and set up the system remotely.
I know a lot of marks that spell their name with a C instead of a K, and I think we have a built-in marketplace, pun intended, for these amplifiers, for people that spell their name that way. But anyway, the thing that I think is really cool, you can really configure an entire system from one GUI and not have to mess around with any front panel controls or let alone connect each amplifier one by one, right?
Yeah, that's right. So with our user interface, you can control and monitor up to 16 separate channels of amplification at the same time. So you can load speaker settings to multiple amplifiers, create groups of amplifier channels, deploy PEQs, GEQs, and delays in just seconds. So it's really a total system configuration and control made easy.
So I get it. This is great. But, you know, I know that sometimes bars, restaurants, and churches have many different modes of operation. You know, as an example, in the afternoon, background music in a bar could, you know, turn into a DJ or a band in the evening that'll require different source material and volumes. Or maybe we should consider a church that could have maybe a completely different configuration between the morning and the evening services. Now, normally, wouldn't this require another system DSP to control and make those system changes?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Clay. So this is the beauty of the multi-amplifier control. You don't need to buy a separate DSP to make system changes. It's already included into the amplifier. The C series or the install series of the amplifiers have a preset facility that controls gains, system EQ, and delay settings. With this, the integrator can set up a morning or evening operation mode, store it, assign it to a GPI, and lock it out. The user can then recall these settings without having to dive into the configuration after the integrator has left. So we have talked now about the DSP and how to control the DSP through the GUI, but at the end of the day, we're talking about an amplifier. So a key criterion for a decision about which amplifier you should use is, of course, the power output. Here's where it can be really easy to find yourself lost in manufacturers' data sheets and how to interpret them to match the right amplifier to your application. So most amplifiers will state a power output in watts on their spec sheets, but each manufacturer measures the output differently. Most use an instantaneous power output to make the numbers look much larger than can even be present in the real world. And this is a problem because it doesn't really say anything about how the amplifier will perform over time when you are actually running them long-term with a demanding music source. So although two amplifier manufacturers may quote the same number on their data sheets for power output, or even give a 2-ohm rating, this doesn't mean that the real-world amplifiers are able to do this for more than a few milliseconds. This could result in not giving you the required power output, or worse, the system could go in protection mode and stop working altogether.
That's true. So how do I know that an amplifier is going to output good power over time and without degrading output power and audio quality and be reliable?
Yeah. So providing class-leading power output and being able to make amplifiers reliably run 2-ohm stable is quite some engineering expertise. To make sure that your sound system sounds good in practice and not only on paper, it becomes very important to understand the amplifier design and the engineering that is behind each manufacturer. Dynacord is in the unique position in this industry to be backed by resources from its parent company, Bosch, which is a multi-international company. This is giving Dynacord unparalleled testing facilities to ensure that their products are of highest standards. Many other manufacturers who do not have Dynacord's facilities are forced to implement cheaper OEM switch mode power supplies, which don't produce the same constant and continuous power output as Dynacord. This reduction of power output will manifest poor audio quality in lower frequencies, and it could also mean that the amplifier shuts down to protect itself. The C&L series power supply design from Dynacord, in combination with its advanced protection package, means that the amplifier is always providing good constant power output even at 2 ohms, and it can handle voltage fluctuations even if you have unreliable power sources. So this means that you can rely on the new amplifiers of Dynacord to make sure that your show will always go on.
So Eileen, where can the Dynacord amps be used?
With the Dynacord amps, the LNC series, we are delivering a 650 watts up to 1800 watts per channel at 4 ohms. And we can even provide 3600 watts in a bridge mode. So basically with this range you can power almost anything, from a small background music speaker such as a bar or a cafe, or up to a live performance venue like a theater or a church with an entry-level line array system. The flexibility of where the amplifier can be used is very important when selecting the amplifier. The C-Series, the install series of amplifiers, is designed specifically for installation and has extra electronics to cater for install-specific applications. It offers the flexibility to be used not only in low ohm operation down to 2 ohm, but also in 70 and 100 volt operation modes, making it suitable for basically any application. Additional features you can find in the C-Series are GPIO, remote turn on and off, and a delay turn on, so that if you have multiple amplifiers in a rack, you won't blow a fuse when you are starting up the rack of amplifiers. So overall, it's really a well thought out amplifier.
Well, that's for sure. I think the thing that really stuck with me is, you know, the parent company of Dynacord and Electric Voice, Bosch, is the 6th largest privately held company in the world. And when you said that other companies don't have the same financial backing and ability for R&D as the Bosch company does, that stuck with me. That's very, very true. So we talk about a great pedigree backed by a gigantic, well-funded company. So this is truly an amazing product. And I also heard, Eileen, that it won a Best in Show award at Infocom this year. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
But of course, I can think of one last thing that we haven't discussed: the price.
Right. So with pricing starting at $788 MSRP, we're really bringing an unheard of level of features and performance into this price point. We can run with these amplifiers anything from installed line arrays to models matching perfectly with contractor type of loudspeakers in cafes and bars or restaurants.
Well, at those prices, Eileen, I'd expect that these amps are going to be an instant success in this market.
Man, that's for sure. There's one more thing I want to say about that. With Harman shutting down Crown's Elkhart, Indiana distribution, those of you in the middle part of the United States will want to consider that we're going to be stocking these amps heavily in our Indiana warehouse, and that'll assure you faster delivery times and lower shipping costs on Dynacord amps than you'll get with Crown. This is another way to be more efficient and add profitability to your sound projects.
You know, I forgot about that, but you're absolutely right, Neil. And you know, I gotta say, any amp is no good really without the right speakers. So, Eileen, what do you have for us for use in the speaker side?
For the speaker side, we're actually introducing a new series of surface mount speakers that go very well with the new amplifiers. And like with the amplifier, this speaker has been designed really with the integrator in mind, and a lot of attention has been paid to making this speaker extremely easy to install.
You're really going to dig that part, our listeners and our watchers today. But it looks as though you've got a more traditional look to this new EVIT S series speaker, right?
Indeed, we do. Yeah, so the EVIT S is a completely new line of compact two-way surface mount loudspeakers, and we offer 4, 5, and 8-inch full range boxes and 2 subwoofer models. So we have a 12-inch corner mount and a dual 10-inch subwoofer to go with the full range.
So like you did with the amplifiers, Eileen, let's consider the 5 points that set the new EVIT S series speakers apart.
All right. So the first point is pretty easy because first of all, the surface mount speaker offers a new quick installation mounting system. What this mounting bracket does is it shifts the skill level of an installation to the earlier stage. The wiring is done on the wall plate, which is, by the way, very easy to position straight thanks to the built-in bubble level. And while the speaker actually comes in the box pre-wired. So as soon as the wall plate is on the wall, the speaker just slides and clicks onto the wall plate.
Well, you can see in this video just how easy it really is to install one of these EVIT S series loudspeakers. And once you've mounted and wired the base plate, you can come back when the finish work is all done and snap the speakers right on the plate and you're done.
That really impressed me.
Yeah, it's cool. So, Eileen, tell us a little bit about what went into the new design.
Yeah, so for these speakers, we went with a very modest and unobtrusive look. And also in the bracket, we have a four-way movement rather than a circular ball bearing. And this has three advantages. First of all, it gives the speaker a wider range when aiming it up, down, left, or right. And second of all, it secures that the speaker is always installed straight. So there's no need to fumble around anymore and make sure that the speaker isn't tilting its head at you, basically. And last but not least, this design also allows you to lock the speaker position securely, and which with much more grip than you would have on a normal bearing type of bracket. In terms of the application of the speaker, whether you want to place the speaker in a fitness center or a restaurant, or rather outside on a patio or even at a pool, the EVIT S can be used both indoors and outdoors. And there is the 5-inch model that we have available in an extreme weather version that can even withstand salt sprays and chloride. So with these options, you'll have complete flexibility of where you want to deploy these surface mount speakers.
So the EVIT series has been wildly popular and still remains so. How does the new EVIT S series speaker fit in with the rest of the EVIT line?
Yeah, so another beneficial feature of this speaker series is that the surface mount speakers are completely compatible with the full EVIT loudspeaker line. So this means that they can be sonically matched and the system will sound good no matter the mix of speakers that you use, whether it is our EVIT surface mounts, combined with ceiling speakers, pendants, or subwoofers. You have complete flexibility to mix and match the EVIT line.
So talk to us about the value proposition, Eileen, and what do they really cost?
So a EVIT speaker, we sell them in pairs, or at least the full range models. And for a 4-inch model, the price is starting at $270 a pair. The price goes up for the 8-inch models up to $610 a pair for the low-Z models, and then we have transformer models as well, so you can pick and choose whether you need the transformer, yes or no.
So let's recap the 5 benefits of the EVIT S-Series speakers. Eileen, you can grade us at the end to see if we learned anything here today.
All right, I'll try. Quick installation. With the slide-on speaker bracket and built-in speaker terminals, there's no need to send a crew to install the speakers after the trim work is done.
Invisible sound. These speakers sound big compared to their size. They have a traditional look to fit into their surroundings, and because of the new mount, they're always positioned straight for a clean and unobtrusive appearance.
Indoor and outdoor. All the S-Series speakers are rated IP54 weather resistant, so they can go just about anywhere. And if you need IP65 weatherproof design for even the toughest conditions, that's available in the 5-inch version.
Matched acoustics. The EVIT S-Series speakers are tuned to match with any of the EVIT series speakers, both flush mount and the surface mount models. This means a homogeneous sound regardless of which model you're choosing. That means no matter where they're going, there's a model to fit your needs.
Good point. And finally, competitive price. To have such a great sounding speaker for as little as $270 a pair retail makes EVIT S-Series speakers another way to improve your efficiency and work more profitably in your upcoming projects.
So how do we do, Eileen?
I'm impressed. Well done.
Okay, so to prove we really did learn something, Clay and I will now recap the 5 benefits of the Dynacord amplifiers. Ready? Go!
All right, here we go. Fully integrated DSP. Both the L and C series Dynacord amps have a full-featured speaker processor right on board. It has, let me see if I get this right, 6-band parametric EQs, full 31-band graphic EQs, delays, professional crossovers, and FIR drive technology.
Exceptional user interface. You can configure an entire system from one GUI and not have to mess around with the front panels or connect to each amplifier individually. That saves time.
High power and solid reliability. If you happen to see that first live demo at Infocom in Orlando, that tells the whole story. You know, as they cranked the power up, the amps from the major competitor blew right up. The Dynacords did not. Now, I know it wasn't planned, even though I'm sure it really looked that way. Because that cost Bosch some serious money because they had to replace those amps before the next demo. Oh, and by the way, speaking of high power, they're available with up to 3,600 watts in bridge mode.
That is crazy. System value. Starting at just $720 MSRP for this grade of amplifier, Dynacord is establishing a new benchmark for power amplifier value.
And finally, flexibility. Now really, when was the last time you could get this level of features and performance at this price point and get 70 volt and 100 volt constant voltage operation along with 8 ohm, 4 ohm, and 2 ohm low impedance operation all in one amp? You're right, you never could before Dynacord.
So Eileen, how do we do with that one?
You're making me afraid to lose my job.
I don't think you have to worry. I'd like to thank Eileen Vergeer from Bosch for joining us today for our AV Meetup coffee break. You were great, and you helped us to really understand the amplifier and speaker selection process much better.
And Eileen, you really showed us why Dynacord has been the amplifier leader in Europe for so long. And I'm just glad that we finally get to have it in the US now.
That's for sure. Thanks, Eileen.
Thank you for having me. Maybe if you want to see these new products and experience how they sound, we're actually demoing throughout the country, and I'm sure there's a stop nearby your region. So if you want to know more information of where you can come and meet us, you can go to electrovoice.com/tour and check whether you can come out and see us.
I think our producer, Mark Decker, that's Mark with a K, put in the link to the Loud and Clear events, so you can see where there's one near you.
Thank you.
You bet.
So Neil, let's give away a $50 gift card for one of our friends who joined us here today.
You know, this is my favorite part, other than having a guest like Eileen with us. But let's talk about the impact of a name, Clay. Let's say you needed an important job done quickly, like capturing train robbers, or perhaps navigating a rocket successfully to land on Mars. You need somebody named Buck Randall, somebody with a strong handle like Buck Randall to get that done. So, congratulations, Buck Randall, for joining us again at an AV Meetup coffee break.
And please tell all your friends and coworkers to join us in 2 weeks at this same time, because we'd love you to be the next $50 gift card winner.
That's for sure. That is seriously a cool name, Buck. Congratulations on the $50 and having a cool name. Hey, thanks for giving us your 20 minutes today to learn more about choosing the right amp for the right speakers. Please remember to go to our Synergy Center website to get all kinds of resource materials to help you with whatever kinds of projects you might be working on. And be sure to check back regularly, because we're constantly adding to our library of videos, white papers, and timely articles on all things AV.
Yeah, Neil, you're right. There's a lot of new articles up there right now that add a new perspective to what's going on in our pro AV industry. So please join us again on Friday, August the 25th for our next AV Meetup coffee break, when Neil and I will talk to you about the importance of visual notification in the changing landscape of pro AV. And also remember that you can go to our website anytime to watch all of our AV Meetup sessions on demand.
I also noticed that there were several questions. It shows a lot of excitement in the product, so we will get those. In the interest of time, we're going to have those answered after the fact, so we'll have Clay answer those. So for more information, to set up a demo, or to dive deeper into any of our products with a personalized online workshop, please contact your Staren Business Development Manager directly, as they say in America, or email us here at myteam@staren.biz. Our time's up, and we do promise to address your questions and interests directly, and it might even be Clay who calls or emails you with your answer, as it will be today. We'll see you again on Friday, August 25th for our next AV Meetup coffee break. Have a great weekend.
So long, everybody.